All right. What's up, Casey?
What's up, Shakti?
All right. Let me give a quick intro of Casey. Casey, Kunal Chandra, I met him about 10 years ago in 2011. I had come back from America after flight training and I was playing poker as a hobby. And after I couldn't get employed as a pilot, the hobby started taking more and more of my time. And Casey at the time was a star in the world of poker in India. He was in all the magazines. He was winning every other tournament. He's older than me. So, anyways, I was this 21-year-old looking at this 25-year-old guy who was just on top of this poker world. And I messaged him on Facebook. I somehow had the nerve to message him. And once he replied, I got the feeling like a celebrity was replying back to me. And I was so excited. And he was so friendly. He invited me to his house, to his friend's house. That was Pran. And I went there. These guys were playing 20,000 rupee buy-in. I used to play 2,000 rupee buy-in at the time. So this was a 10 times bigger game than what I used to play. I'd never seen so much money on a table before. And there were fancy cars like BMWs and Jaguars that these guys had. And I was just this 21-year-old kid that was mesmerized to see all this. And that was my first experience of when I met Casey. What up, Casey?
What's up, Shakti?
So, Casey, when I met you, I was about 6 months into poker. But when did you get started?
I think I had also just started off. I think I was only like 2 years into the game at the time when we met. I might have started, I think, in 2008 or 9, as far as I remember. Poker was non-existent in India back in the day. I'm pretty sure you know as well, right? I mean, hardly anyone played poker back in the day.
So, I've heard stories from you guys that how bad the players were and how easy it was to make money at that time, because basically nobody knew anything about poker.
I think initially we guys just got lucky, I guess. And we won a bunch of money. We were equally bad. But eventually, I only started to get to know about the poker game when I started playing tournaments and Adi Intervention started coaching me. I had zero idea what I was doing at the time myself. I think I was just sharp with cards and I got lucky initially. That's why I sort of turned pro.
Yeah. But how did you manage to get so good within 1-2 years? Because it took me, once I started, it took me at least, I would say 5 or 6 years before I even started paying attention to what I was doing and learning. But how did you have the sense to start learning so early? Because first couple of years I was just having fun, and I still see people and guys that are just having fun. But you were not just having fun. You were playing in the tournaments, you were winning those tournaments, and anyone that plays tournaments knows that winning tournaments is not an accident. So how did you even have the sense to pay attention to Adi Agarwal or some of the other guys that you were following? How did you know that?
I used to visit Goa pretty regularly and used to play these little tournaments over there. Before I started playing tournaments in Goa and when I landed up in Goa, I actually used to read up all these forums online, 2+2 and everything. And I had Poker Stars where I used to play. And there were so many videos online at the time of tournaments. We used to watch that, get excited. And that auto knack for cards was there. I used to gamble quite a lot in my younger days, playing Teen Patti and all those games, the Indian games. So
that's one
was
main
automatically
thing.
there.
Yeah, Indians, because it is in our culture, the gambling and playing cards, the sense is always developed that you know that strategic grit of trying to guess what the other guy has, and that muscle is built up since you're a child, right?
Correct. So that was there automatically. Plus, I started playing all this poker, this poker on Zynga. I used to play a bunch of free rolls on Poker Stars. And I don't know, it just happened automatically. I went on Google, read a couple of forums. Then I hit 2+2. 2+2 was the final authority on poker at the time. I mean, whatever, any kind of questions you had, you just go type out your question. You will have an answer from the top pros immediately. And then, the game, obviously, that's how I started learning and reading up about the game. And then I sort of got ahead of the curve at the correct time.
But this is what fascinates me. You were a curious guy and you had the sense to even go on 2+2. Even today, 11 years into it, I've never gone on 2+2 looking for answers. I was just gambling most of my career. And that was a huge mistake. That's why I never could fully fulfill my potential. And
Shakti,
you had that sense.
I hit 2+2 because I had no one to talk to. I think by the time you came in, a few of the people were already had a little bit of learning about the game. So during your time, I don't know if you remember or not, I think we used to sit down and, talk about hands so much.
Yes.
We just discuss hands. So it's the same thing, that's what I did on 2+2. I would, randomly ask questions about a hand because I had nobody to ask at the time when I started out. So later on, when you came in the scene, I think that's all we used to do. We used to discuss hands amongst each other. We used to talk about hands.
I remember when we used to talk about hands, one of my stupidities repeatedly, which I made in my career was I love to go up against the best. And I remember I knew you were the best. So I'm like, this is the guy in the magazines. I want to beat this guy. And I would sit and play. We used to play heads up again and again and again. And I would lose every time. And I didn't care that I was losing. I was like, I just want to beat this guy from the magazine. That's what I cared about. Like this, the almighty Casey, I want to beat this guy. And I don't care if I lose money in the process. And I realized eventually that is stupid. That's a very good way to lose money.
It's fine. I think that's what I did too. A lot of times on PokerStars, I used to run up my bankroll, deposit like $100 or $200, run it up to like 2,000 something. Then I would sit down with the pros playing heads up and everything, try to run up my bankroll thinking that I'm better than them and I can beat them. I would hear stories of people making millions on PokerStars playing big games. I'd be like, I can do this. Like, it's so easy for me to do this. But I think those are the mistakes that you learn from bankroll management and everything. That's what we learned later on. And selecting the right games. Why would you want to play with a better guy, man? With all the money you have. I don't need to beat the best guy. I need to have the most money.
Yes. Even today, even the pros, some of the pros that I know, that I follow, they still don't understand this till now. They are still going up against the better guys, the best guy. If the goal of poker is to make money, then we need to find games in which we can make money, period. Exactly. If your goal personally is to become the best player, if you want to become the Sachin Tendulkar of poker, then it's different. Then you go up against the best competition. But oftentimes it's just about the ego that people just want to, and that's what I was. That's where I was when I met you. I just wanted to beat you. I didn't care if I lost money in the process, and that was incredibly stupid. And I paid the price for that.
It happens, man. I used to play a lot of tournaments earlier. I switched to cash games like really later on in my poker career. And I remember when I started out playing cash games, I really wanted to beat the best guy on the table. I was not interested in playing against the fish. I just wanted to be in a hand with the best guy on the table and try to beat him out of the pot. It did not really make any sense. Even I learned it the hard way. I lost a bunch of money trying to beat the best. But yeah.
Casey, over the years, I found a lot of answers in poker. Poker taught me a lot about life, about patience, about anger issues, many things. I found a lot of answers, and I can give people a lot of answers about poker. But there is one question that I still haven't been able to answer. Why is poker so damn addictive that a person plays it once and then it takes him 9, 10, 11 years, sometimes a lifetime even, to get out of it? Any person that plays poker once, and mind you, the person that plays poker the first time, he's not winning money. Most likely he's losing money for the first 1-2 years. But still, why is it that we get so stuck in this loop of playing, like no matter how much money I lose, I just want to play. I just want to play. What happens? What do you think happens? I have my version of the answer, but I want to hear your answer. What happens? Why does this happen?
I think the reason why I got hooked onto poker is because, I used to play Teen Patti a lot, right? Teen Patti is a game where nothing changes. You are dealt 3 cards and, you have a fixed hand and nothing changes after that. I think why I got hooked onto poker is that, every poker hand is a new event. And, there are numerous ways that you could play a particular hand, right? At least at the time when we started off. I mean, the game wasn't solved at the time and we had no idea what we were doing. So we would keep thinking and, it became like it's like a game of chess, like there's so many moves that you can make and so many things that you can do. There's so many different factors. So the whole fascination about, trying to solve and do the correct thing, that kept me going back at the poker table. Like, this is what I can try and do today. This is what I'll try and, I'll try and make a new move today. I'll do this. I'll 4-bet fold, or I'll 5-bet jam 7 high or something. Try and do new things. So that's
in other words, so in other words, yeah. So in other words, you're saying the maze is so complicated that it is exciting to keep solving the maze a little bit more every day.
Exactly.
And it's never ending.
It's never ending, bro. You just want to keep going back and try and better better what you did the last time. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me going back at the poker table.
My answer is very similar to this, to what you gave, but you tell me if it's different or it's similar. I figured out that in poker, when you start, you're really bad. You're horrible, right? But you don't. You're exactly. You're delusional. You're really bad, but you don't realize how bad you are. So what happens after a while of playing is that you get better. And when you get better, then you look back and you realize how bad you were. But now that you've gotten better, that gives you hope that, okay, I was really bad and now I'm not so bad. So I can now improve, and soon all my losses will pay off, because soon I will just hit that gold line. I'll go across the gold line and then I'll start winning, and it will all be worth it. Right? That's what happens. And hope, like for us, fortunately, we crossed that goal line and we made money eventually, much more money than what we lost. But for a lot of people, if they don't have a learning attitude, if they don't really pay attention to how the game is played, then they never cross the goal line.
Yeah, there's no chance. I mean, till the time you take that step and learn about the game and, try and improve every day. Like, even till date, I might be playing poker for like 15 years. Even till date, if I don't want to learn more, I'll be left behind the curve like so quickly. The game is evolving so fast. Like 4-card and 5-card, games are evolving so fast that, I'll be left behind way back. I mean, I need to be up there if I want to continue playing professionally.
And one thing I want to mention here is a lot of people think that it is like experience will do it, right? If I just do enough of it, I will. Shanky is one of those guys. Shanky is a friend of ours, and he doesn't study much. He's just playing. I know a lot of other guys. I know a 65-year-old guy who's been playing for 40 years, playing. But unless you really actually pay attention and study the game, if you study the game for like 1 year or 6 months, that's like worth 50 years of playing. If you spend a couple of weeks researching on 2+2, that's like those lessons. You will have to play like years of poker to learn those lessons, which these pros will just, tell you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Playing really does not mean much unless you like learn about the game correctly. Like playing 500,000 hands will not give me that much information. What a 5-hour coaching with a pro would give me. Like if I'm playing 500,000 hands against bad players, well, I'm still there. I'm thinking that I'm good and I'm making money, but I might not really be good.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. What do you think, Casey? Let's move on. We'll come back to poker, but let's move on from poker for a little bit. Okay. I asked you to write your bio for me. I know everything about you, but I still asked you to write a bio for me because I want your opinion of what you think you are, right? And the first thing you wrote is family guy.
Yeah, bro. I
right?
mean, I'm really proud to be a family-oriented guy. I mean, without my family, I would be nothing. Like for a
Yes,
poker player, a professional gambler, there's nothing for you to look up to, right? So I have my family to go back to, and that's what drives me. That's what keeps driving me. Otherwise, being a
exactly. So
gambler, I'd make 2 millions. I'll burn that the next day, and wouldn't matter to me. And it wouldn't really matter to me, right? So being a family guy is what's been driving me for all these years. Like I have
what
kids, I have a wife.
what happens? Yeah, this is what I want to ask you, because I am not a family. Like I have my mother, I have my brother, but I don't have a wife, I don't have kids. And at various points of my life, I have even thought about, do I even want to have a wife and kids? Like, is that not going to like, that's going to take so much of my time that I might not be able to go for the super success that I want to go for. But then my mother tells me that your super success will have no meaning unless you have a family to share it with. And I understand that logically, but all my instinct is to just work and just, why is family so important? Why is having children so important? What has that given you, and why is that such a big anchor for you?
That gives me a sense of responsibility, if I may say. Like you know how it is, like being a gambler, we are so irresponsible at times. There's nothing that can stop us from making mistakes every day, and like not even mistakes, blunders every day. Like I know for a fact that I've stopped making these huge blunders. I still do, but I don't do it so often now. Because now I think about family, I think about kids, and I think about my wife, and just act a little more responsibly. Plus, during these times of stress, stress comes automatically to a gambler, right? So during these times of stress, I come back home, then I totally leave everything behind when I'm at home with my kids. If I'm with my kids, I forget whatever is going on. I might have lost like 2 CR in a night. I would just forget about it in an instant. So that kind of feeling, I mean, yeah, you can't really imagine that feeling unless you experience it yourself. So
Someone said it to me. This is a funny way to put it, but someone said to me, you know what kids are? Kids
yeah.
are the ultimate drugs. The ultimate. Because what
Yeah,
are drugs? Drugs are something that makes your hormones go up and down, right? The way
true,
your
true.
kids will make your hormones go up and down in play,
Yeah.
pain, pleasure, anger, all the emotions that you will experience with your kids, no drugs can do that for you. Kids are
Oh,
the
it's
ultimate.
like magic. Trust me, it's like magic, bro. I'm telling you. Like I know that I've lost like insane amounts of money, and I've come back home and just sat with my kids and played Lego, and I would forget about everything. So it's really it's magic. Trust me. And you can't really explain it. You can only experience it.
But I guess the reason why I'm scared, or a lot of the young guys are scared, is because once you go this route, there is no way back.
Yeah, there's
You
no
understand?
back.
Like that, there's fucking no way back. And if something goes, like if some shit goes down where you have to get separated with your wife or something like that, there is, like, I know friends that have gotten separated, have gone through tremendous stress, and
Yeah.
that's I think. But there's no risk, there's no reward without risk, right? I think that's the answer. You have to go for it, right?
It's a tough road too, Shakti. Let me tell you. I mean, it's not been easy for me. I've been married like 13, 14 years. And I've had so many arguments with my wife, Shikha. It's hilarious. I mean, there have been so many times that we've actually come to separation because of my gambling habits and my poker odd timings. You know how it is in India, right? I mean, most of
Yeah.
our poker games are late night. So any wife would not be okay with the husband being out every day, every night, at absurd times. So it's really tough being a partner with a gambler. Hats off to Shikha as well. She's tolerated me, and
She's
yeah.
amazing, man. I know her personally, and she is really, really amazing. Acha,
See, the thing
let's
is,
talk about this. Okay, see, this is a topic we both wanted to talk about. But let's talk about it in two contexts. So if you could do it all over again, if you could be 20 again, and if you could do it all over again in the context of poker and in the context of marriage and in the context of life, what would you do differently? Like I know I would do a lot of things differently. So you start. If you want, I can start, whatever you like. But how would you do things differently in poker, in life, in marriage, relationships?
I don't know. There's much I can change about my family life, though. I mean, I think I've done well. Poker wise, I think I made a huge. I made huge bad. I made a lot of bad choices, bad mistakes. There are so many things that I could change poker wise. Um, like uh, when I started sports betting, maybe I could not. I should not have done that. Then I made the wrong choices in hosting games. I could have changed that. There were there've been a lot of wrong choices. I'm pretty sure we've shared a similar life cycle, so we've had similar mistakes that we've done. Then yeah, so yeah, these are a few things that could have changed.
I'll tell you. So in my relationships, I had a girlfriend for a long time, right? I was 18 and I had a girlfriend. I dated her till the time I was 27. And then at 27, about 26, 27, I went broke around that age. I lost all my money. I went into a debt of $1 million. I've spoken about this before on Elliot's episode. And that is the time when I broke up with my girlfriend, because I thought my life is too much of a mess for me to include one more person. And we broke up. I think what I would do differently in my relationship is maybe I sometimes feel that secretly that if I could go back in time and if I could do things all over again, I would have gotten married early and had children early. So that part of my life would have started, because now I feel like, yeah, I got the money, the success, and I got my all, like, as they say, all your ducks you want to get all your ducks in a row, right? Before taking big decisions. And
right.
I think I didn't need to wait to have all my ducks in one row. I think I could have experienced married life or children. I wonder, I'm never sure. It's not black and white, man. This is all gray. But I wonder if I would have gotten married at, let's say, 23, 24 and had children. And then life would still be a roller coaster. But in my ups and downs of the roller coaster, I might have had someone. I may have children right now that would have motivated me to go for even bigger success, maybe. So that's one thing that I wonder about.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but I think whatever happens, it has to happen in time. You need to be absolutely sure before taking that decision, I believe. And getting married to someone is a huge decision. I'm pretty sure you did not get married because you felt it was not the right time, right?
Yeah, I didn't. But then when do you feel that? Like, I never feel like it's the right time. So it's also a part of it. Like, you have to take that leap of faith and just go for it, right?
I don't think that's the case, Shakti.
You don't think
when
so?
it's the right time, you would know. You would know personally when it's the right time. If you find the correct person, you want to stay with that person forever, you would know. You can't just get married because people tell you to get married, right? That's what happens in India.
I've met a lot of people that did that and then they said they regret it. So I know people like that for sure.
100%. Even till date, I mean, with Shikha, we are so open-minded that, whenever we feel that, the love is fading away, we'd probably separate immediately. So.
And that works. That works, dude. If you just separate for a little bit, the spark comes back, everything comes back. That works.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Whenever we have all these, small arguments, we stop talking to each other for a week. And during that week, it's like we are charging our system during that time.
Yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you're talking about. This happens.
It becomes so much better when we start talking again. It's so much better than the last time. So.
Okay, now let me tell you something about life that I would do differently. I would.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is a tricky one. I want to say that I would not drink alcohol. I wasted a lot of time drinking alcohol and abusing substances a little bit. Not at the level that some guys do, but I still did. And I wasted, I believe, a couple of years in this nonsense. Where I am today, I could have been when I was 25. But then again, it's like saying that I wish I knew the lessons before I lived them. So like you have to live through those things to learn those lessons, and that is how you learn them. But I don't know, I have a lot of frustration about wasting a lot of time. I wasted a huge part of my 20s. I'm really glad that I came out of it, because some people never come out of it, and that is why it's so dangerous. That's why
I'm still there.
On some level you are still there, but there are guys that are really deep into this stuff, and I am really glad that I don't know which was that one guy that really pulled me out of it or said something to me which triggered me to do something about my life. But I want to be that guy for other people. That's why I'm starting this podcast. I want to talk to people. I want to be that guy who's deep into, shit, and who's deep into trouble. And if he can just listen to one video of mine or something I said, or listen to this conversation of ours, that, okay, you see a picture of Shakti on Instagram in a suit standing next to a Mercedes, but now he's telling you about, he was not born like that. He was in deep shit, like just 3 years ago, like 4 years ago, he was in deep shit. He was in debt. And then he had to climb out of that. And if this is possible to do in 3 years, then I can fucking do it. If I can do it, like if he can do it, I can do it. And then anyone can do it. That's what I want to create for people, for young guys.
Yeah, that's commendable though. I mean, to show a success story like that and, motivate people, it's a huge thing. Like, I know that I'm troubled with all these drinking and drug abuse problem. And, I know how messed up life becomes because of all these, and the kind of life I would lead if I had not done all these stupid things. Yeah, to show people that how you can change by dropping all these and showing your success, and people getting motivated off it. It's a huge thing that you're doing, right? Good luck to you, man.
Bro, you know what? I wanted to tell you this, and this is the last point, but I'll say it now here because the time is right. One of the biggest pieces, Casey, why I got the clarity to take the right actions for myself was because I got coaching.
Right.
More specifically talking, I got mental coaching. So
Yeah,
Elliot Rowe.
People, most of the time, they have no idea what they're doing, man. How they're wasting time till the time somebody points it out and tells them that,
Right.
This is how you're wasting time.
Right. And Elliot, in many ways, Elliot Rowe saved my life because he showed me the path. He showed me what is to be done. He showed me the patterns, that the negative patterns that I was in. And once I saw it, I was able to fix it. So what I wanted to tell you is, you wrote in your form also to me that I've busted my bankroll so many times that I'm frustrated about that. I don't want to do that, but it still keeps happening. Casey, you need to work with a mental coach, any mental coach. Elliot Rowe now works with the top guys in the world, so he's very expensive. But I know another guy, his name is Coach Bahman, and he charges like I don't know. I'll send you the information, but do some sessions with him. I'm very confident that he will be able to help you.
Absolutely, man. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, but I don't know. I just sort of never take that plunge.
I'll keep you accountable. I will tell Coach Bahman to write you a message. Follow him on Instagram.
I follow him. In fact, I added him like I think about a year back. I wanted to get coaching done. I knew that I have to go do this. I know it for a fact that I have to do this, but I don't know. For some reason, it just so happens that
Bro, technically your game is good. You're even, talented. I don't have any talent. You're even talented. I think the mental game is what is the negative mental patterns is what is troubling you. And if you work on that, it's going to change your. So Elliot Rowe, I don't play poker anymore. Okay, I stopped playing poker, but I still work with Elliot Rowe.
Right.
He's like, you can consider him like my therapist. I talk to him about stuff, and he tells me the most optimum action to take with whatever I'm doing. Do you know Elliot Rowe helps MMA fighters? He helps business guys. He helps trading guys. So it's not just poker. Mental game, like he's a performance coach, just like Coach Barman is a performance coach. And I think if you work with them for like 10, 20 hours, it will just change your life, man. Completely, it will change your life.
I totally agree, man. I can't deny the fact that, the kind of change that can bring to you. I'm pretty sure.
Let's talk about Elon Musk, Casey. You told me that you like Elon Musk, yes?
Now, who doesn't, man? He's such a crazy guy. Who doesn't? I think
everyone loves him. Do you know I made a bunch of money in Tesla? Did I tell you?
I heard, yeah. When we met in Delhi, you told me that you...
Dude, this is what happens when you quit drinking. I stopped drinking, right? Casey, let me share this with you. I thought by giving up drinking, what I will get is health, right? I thought I'll get health, right? I'll feel great. I'll be able to go to the gym and, just like my skin will be better. And all these things happen. But the greatest time that I got by quitting drinking was time. I have time. I have so much time now. So a year ago,
we don't value time so much.
Bro, I have to sit and think what to do like next 2 months, because when you stop drinking, you don't go out. You don't hang out with your friends for like 7 hours at a stretch, if you're not drinking. After like 1.5 hours, you're like, okay, so when the COVID started, right? When COVID hit, I had so much time, I didn't know what to do. And I got into researching companies. I wanted to get into investing. I had some, money that I didn't know what to do with. I wanted to buy a property, and a friend of mine who owns, Dilip owns 200 million dirhams worth of property, right? He's been in property. His father was in property. So I went to Dilip. I said, which property should I buy? You're the OG, guy of property. He's like, don't buy any property right now. It's not a good time. So I was like, okay, then I need to figure out where to put the money. I started researching companies, and I found an opportunity in Tesla. And I put the money in, and it's insane. Do you know about Tesla, by the way?
Of course I do.
No, but you know about Tesla, but do you know why is Tesla so exciting?
Why?
I will tell you a couple of reasons. Okay? First thing is that one of the things that they're going to come out with, which is extremely exciting, is the full self-driving.
Okay.
Do you know about this?
Yeah.
They're about to, so they are trying to solve autonomy. Okay. So right now the car is pretty much autonomous. It can drive by itself. Everything is done, but the regulations are still not allowing it to be fully autonomous. What they are saying is that the driver has to be in the seat and he has to keep his hand on the steering, right? But soon it will become fully autonomous. When that happens, when it becomes fully autonomous, what this car will become is going like it's going to turn Apple upside down, everything. So here, listen to this. So what they're going to do is they're going to launch a fleet of taxis. Okay, that's their model. They shared this model like a year or 2 years ago. They're going to launch a fleet of taxis. So think like Uber, but without a driver. Okay, so they have full self-driving cars running around. You call it Uber. Basically, you'll go on the Tesla app and you'll order a car and it will come. Now, guess what happens? Now Tesla is a car manufacturer. Now it comes into Uber's market share, right? It's now biting into Uber's market share. And Uber has drivers. So drivers can only work like 8-10 hours, right? 12 hours. But Teslas are working like 24 hours, right? Teslas don't need fuel. They are recharging and then just going. Teslas drive for up to 1 million miles. So that's like 3-4 times more than a normal car. Then imagine this. You know what they're going to do, Casey? If you have a Tesla, they're going to allow you to put your car on the fleet. So what they'll do is, okay, Casey, you buy the full self-driving software from them, which is a package for like, $10,000, whatever, $20,000, whatever. You pay that, but then you have the option to put your car on the fleet. Which means you get to your office and then for the next 6 hours, your car goes and makes money for you and comes back.
Insane, man.
You understand? So like they're going to put all these Uber, Careem, all these apps out of business.
Got it.
It's just the way this guy thinks, man. That's the thing. Who doesn't? Who won't? The way this guy thinks, it's totally out of the box. He has to be an alien. He can't be human for sure.
Dude. Do you know, Casey, once the full self-driving happens, what the next thing that's going to happen is he has a screen in the car, right? So what happens when the car is driving by itself? Now you're sitting there doing nothing, right? So he's going to launch a software like an iTunes type software on his screen where you can buy TV shows, films, games. So imagine the car is driving by itself. You're going on a road trip. The car is driving by itself. And what you are doing is you're playing PlayStation on the screen. That's what you're doing. Or watching your favorite TV show or whatever. That's the next level. And we are on the verge of that happening. Like in another year or so, that should happen. Yeah, and when that happens, Tesla is not a car manufacturer anymore. It's an Uber, it's an Apple, it's like so many things at one time. So it's pretty insane.
This guy is definitely next level.
Yeah, man. Elon Musk is I have a I try to keep reminding myself that he's only a man, you know. He's only a man. If he can do this, if he can do this, then we can definitely do whatever our petty goals are, you know. He's going after goals that have not been done before. He wants to go to Mars, like God knows what he wants to do, man. He's crazy.
He'll take us to Mars someday.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what is his vision? When does he say he'll take us to Mars? 2025 is his goal.
That quick?
Yes, bro. It's crazy. He's not like, he doesn't want to take us to Mars in 2040. He's saying now, 5 years from now, I will do it.
That's why I call him an alien. I mean, a human can't promise that.
This guy did with the limited budget what NASA could not do. He's made a reusable rocket. What NASA could not do for so many years, he did it with a limited budget. Like as a private company, he did it. It's just crazy.
He's a beyond anyone imaginable. I think no one in the history is also close to him.
Yeah. Ford, they compare him to Ford. Some people compare him to Thomas Edison, you know, but it's really, really crazy. Did you hear about Neuralink? What he's doing with Neuralink?
I haven't had a chance to read about it.
Oh my God, you're going to lose your mind. Casey, I'll send you a link of the Joe Rogan interview where he talks about Neuralink. Okay, let me explain to you what is Neuralink. Okay. So what he's doing is he's making a chip called the Neuralink. Okay. He's going to add that chip onto someone's brain. So the first thing that he wants to solve is, so people who have, let's say, epilepsy, right? Or people that get some seizures.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Right. So basically the signal from your spinal cord is not going to your brain. That's why you're not able to do certain actions. Right. So he's going to put a chip in your brain that will fix that problem, basically. Now, the next step is, let's say someone is a quadriplegic or he cannot walk, or, you know, he will create the chip. He will upgrade that chip as the chip becomes better and better. A guy that cannot walk will start walking. Okay. A guy that cannot see will start seeing. Yeah. It's crazy, dude. Like, okay. Yeah. And you know what the next step is? He said we'll fix the problems first. And then the next step is enhancement. So now let's say you're a regular guy, right? You can get the chip and now you will just be the superhuman brain. So this is how he explained it. Casey, listen to this. He said, you know what? You right now have the chip in you. He said, what's that chip? He said, it's your phone, right? We always have our phones with us. And if you want to make a calculation, what you do is you take your phone, you calculate whatever complicated calculation you wanted to make, and the phone gives you an answer. If you want to check something on Google, you know, some fact or something, you go on Google, you type it, and you get the answer. He said, we are going to make that happen inside your brain with the chip. So you don't need to pick up your phone. Wow. You just think of something and your brain will give you the answer.
Wow. Come on.
And then he said, he spoke about, Casey, listen to this. If you and I are talking, he said, we are speaking, okay? which is ineffective because I say something, you understand something else, right? Sometimes you say something, I could misunderstand you, whatever. So he says, once we have chips in our brain, the chips can talk to each other. We don't need to talk.
Oh my God. It's endless.
He's
possibilities.
thinking on fucking levels that, we are not even like, he's giving to us things we didn't even ask for.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. Going back to poker, Casey, what do you think are the biggest mistakes that we made, number one, but that also you see other people make? What do you think that? I have some very good ones in this. Let's do a deep dive on this.
I think just being irresponsible in general with the kind of money that we deal with every day. I came into so much money so fast that I had no idea how to handle it. I had no idea what to do with it. I would just go ahead and buy an expensive car in cash. I would spend most of my money on drugs and alcohol. I would spend most of my money on expensive trips, which I did not really need. I, just waste money, be so responsible. I get into sports betting because I just want to complete my rush of making quick money quicker. Like I would make so much money in poker that I want to make more money even faster. I would indulge into sports betting and eventually increase the stakes and everything. So yeah, these kind of mistakes I see people making every day. I do it too.
Sports betting, gambling is a big one. It's really a big one. I didn't go so deep into it. What I did was I did another version of this. I did the same thing what you did in sports betting. I did it in poker. I just went up against the better players and I just gambled again. So basically in sports betting, you're going up against odds, right? In a casino, you're going up against odds that don't favor you. You will lose in the long run. I did the same thing basically, but I did it in poker. I went up against better players and I just kept losing and losing and losing. And then, 6-7 years later, I realized I need to stop doing that. So I think if people really need to position themselves into situations where they are positioned to win.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in positions where you are uncertain whether you will win or not. You really want to prepare to win, what you did going on 2+2, which I didn't do. And then you want to put yourself in positions to win.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think it comes so, I think I've never seen a perfect person in the poker thing. Somebody has a league somewhere or the other, and there's nothing that they can do about it. Kudos to you. I mean, you plugged your leagues pretty well, and you will go ahead and continue plugging them. But I see so many people who even me, for example, I know what my leagues are, but I don't do anything about plugging them.
It's the mental game, Casey. I'm telling you, your brain is short circuiting. Once you understand why it is doing it, you will be able to fix it. Talk to barman.
Yeah.
Talk to barman. You'll be able to immediately fix it.
Yeah, I'll definitely get down to getting a mental coach really, really soon.
What about some other mistakes that you see other people making?
I think it's the same mistakes, Shakti. It's the same. Everyone, I see people doing the same thing. What I've done.
I'll tell you another one. I see so many guys, Casey, that are good at poker, that even study poker, but they don't work on the social game of poker. So there is technical game of poker, okay? Then there is the mental game where you learn to control your emotions. But then there is this third leg, which almost people don't even want to acknowledge. That is the social game, which means
that, with all these online apps and everything, people really do not even want to work on it. Their live games are dying. Like I play live games almost every day, and I know a lot of people who are good poker players, but they are not invited to all these live games because people don't like them.
Exactly.
And
but Casey,
so
social game doesn't just work in live. Even if there is an online game, most good games are private. And if you are not socially in that hierarchy where you have enough connections then you won't get invited to the good games. So it's very important. First of all, it's important to pay attention to your game, then pay attention to your emotions that are affecting you. But then the third thing is positioning yourself socially to take advantage of the best games that are happening in your city, in your country, in your social circle.
Correct.
So this is one area I think where people don't pay attention, and people really need to.
You need to be. I take it for granted because I'm normally a likable.
You're
person,
good at
so
it. You're naturally good at it. That's why you take it for granted. I am naturally good at it. And I'm going to make some material on this, some content on this, so that people can learn from people like you and me who are naturally good at this. You know, I think though all aspects people make mistakes. Technical game, people don't study it. Mental game, obviously people don't get coaching. Just like I'm telling you, if you get coaching in mental game, that's going to be just insane. And social game, which comes naturally to you and me, a lot of people are not good at it, but then they also don't make the effort. You know, you and I both know this guy.
Now that you talk about it, Shakti, I realize that how important it is. I know so many people who miss out on all these good games because they're not likable people.
Exactly. Think about how many people sit on poker tables wearing headphones.
Yeah. That's not the guy I want to sit on a table with, right?
Think about how many people on a poker table start coaching others. There is a fish that will play bad poker just because he wants to gamble. And this guy who considers himself a learned guy, he starts coaching the guy. What the hell did you do? How stupid can you be? Think of the blunder that guy is making.
Yeah, Shanky is doing that on our table. I mean, Shanky is a great guy.
But Shanky is a great guy.
Shanky keeps doing that to the fish on our table. And I keep telling him that we should stop educating them. I mean, they don't want to be educated by you.
Exactly. So social, and then the resignation, man. When I try to tell some of my friends that you and I both know this guy, I won't say his name, but who used to be considered as the #1 poker player in India, right? He's so antisocial in so many ways. He doesn't get invited to games because he's just antisocial. I try to teach him so much because I love him like a brother. I try to teach him of the things that he needs to do in order to, just be a little bit like, the biggest thing is, which you and I again do naturally, is play a lot of hands. You cannot be sitting on a poker table and play tight. If you play tight, nobody wants to play with you. Why would you want to do something so that nobody would want to play with you? It seems like Dubai is going to start having casinos. There's a lot of talk about that. If that happens, the entire gambling scene will move to Dubai, Casey. I'm telling you. Because Macau has its own challenges. And in this part of the world, there is no other city that is really that attractive. Nobody wants to really go to Vietnam. You know what I mean? But people want to come to Dubai. So I think if Dubai casinos open up, you will see such a big inflow of just crowd, and even poker wise, and in just so many ways, it will benefit. They're trying their best to. Some of the hotels staff that I've spoken to, they even have some of this. So the Caesars opened a property here, right? The hotel staff was telling me that they even have some equipment that they have it. They're just waiting. They are contemplating whether to license it, whether not to license it, whatever. So, I mean, we are hoping that it happens because there'll be a lot of opportunity. Yeah, there'll be a lot of opportunity. Even UK is very big on things like KYC and where the money is coming from. If a big gambler wants to gamble big, he has to do so much of paperwork that he almost doesn't want to gamble big anymore. But with places like
where the scene is not good for operators there. The taxation is huge.
Yeah, taxation is also huge. UK taxation is huge. So compared to that, Dubai is going to be crazy. And plus, it's the new place to be. Dubai is the nightlife is good, the restaurant food, it's amazing. Even culturally, I think it's really amazing because it's kind of conservative, but it's also liberal at the same time, and
it's so diverse. I mean,
yeah, it is very diverse. Yes, that's the word, diverse, actually, that I was looking for.